What's up, guys? Got a Chinese-made lightweight style spoiler for the E46 M3, and we're gonna do a little test fit on it. Just before we get started, taking a close look at it, I guess it's a plastic of some sort. It might be fiberglass, but you know, just scoping it out, it looks like it doesn't have any pits. I could probably throw this on as it is, and you know, it's got that matte black finish. It might look all right on a gloss black. Included with some hardware, some basic instructions, you know, put something down, break the spoiler in half, and then put it on the car, drill holes. Yeah, you don't actually break it in half, I'm just kidding. But, you know, very basic, I guess, instructions you would expect of something that's cheap. And then it's got the little hardware pieces to go along with it. So there is a little drilling that's involved. I'm mounting it on the car. So before I fit it, we've got to take this old lip spoiler off. So down here I have my Wagner adjustable heat gun, which I used for a little bit of the wrap on the car. Anyway, we're going to use this and take it off and put the spoiler on and just see how that first test fitment goes. We made it this far. We're almost to the edge. Get some heat under here. You can see it's lifting up. Oh, almost there. There we go. Okay, next step is that we took 4 of these locating stripes, and you can see the little pin that sticks up from there. What it says is that you stick it up into the mounting hole underneath of the spoiler, just like this. So we've already done that for all 4 locations, and we mounted it, just sat it up on top of the trunk in the position that we want. Okay, so now what we do, now that it's in position, we're going to go ahead and use some tape. So you can pull off that piece of tape, and I want you to go ahead and put it in position there. Yep, tape it so it doesn't move. Do the same thing to the other side. And do it down here. Yep. We don't want that to move. We want it to stay straight. Let's just make sure that that stays straight. Straight like that. Okay. And then with that side good, I'm going to go ahead and do this side over here. Now when we lift the spoiler straight up, these pins will tell us where we need to drill our holes. Looking good on that side? All right. So we're also going to do the one in the back. I'll cut the video and we'll come back when that's done. Okay, so now that we've got everything taped down, I should just be able to lift this thing straight up and off. I'm going to double check the sides one more time to make sure that the fitment is looking proper. It's flush underneath it here. So I should just be able to lift this straight up like that. And now you can see that the mounting strips are still in place. I haven't actually looked back to confirm, but yeah, there we go. So now we know we have to drill a hole here, 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 and here. Okay, I realized I was getting ahead of myself here, and if I had these sides taped down, I wouldn't be able to lift up the trunk to see what is underneath of where we need to drill to make sure that, you know, we can get a bolt up through the underside without a problem, or the screw. So I just went ahead and double taped on this side and then released the tape from this side all around. So now we put it back down once more just to make sure that everything lines up still and it is still looking good. So this side's up a little high, but that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so we're going to lift it off one more time and then locate where the holes are going to go through on the other side of the trunk. All right, so we got our spoiler back from paint and we're almost ready to mount. If you look over here, come on over here, you'll see that the hole needs to be drilled through right on the corner. The problem is if we drill it through, we're not going to have enough room to get the bolt down in. So we're going to have to cut into our trunk a little bit there and also here to get our bolt to go through. We're going to do this on both sides. We're going to just start off with one. So what I've done is just took some chalk and mark out an approximate area where I think we're going to need to cut. We'll start with this back one here, see how it goes, and then we'll move on to the front. All right, let's do it. This is the Dremel made for metal, by the way. So I'm just going to make 3 cuts to start. One on the side, one about there, and one about there, and then we'll work on the top half after we go. So we're going to just go right in, right here, All right, so I'm just going to take a screwdriver and get underneath of that, and we can see that this is bending out. More or less, I just want to make sure we have enough room down here to get the bolt in. We're definitely going to have to bend this back and remove it. Really, I shouldn't be prying too much on the paint here. I don't want that to chip, but I do want to get this back and give an idea of what we have to work with. So there's still some material that we can remove there to get a little bit closer to the top of the trunk. Or what we can do is probably cut down more here and here, push this portion down flat, and then gives us a little bit more surface area, more thickness on the trunk, just to better support that bolt going through. So maybe we'll do that. I'm gonna see if we can't clean this off here and then make another cut here and here to fold this flap down a bit. Okay, so all I did was just take the back end of this Craftsman, Jesus, this thing. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Anyway, it fits in there pretty much perfect. And I just beat this down, and now I've got a flat surface on the bottom there. And I should be able to drill a hole right in the middle. Once that hole looks good, I'm going to go on to the next one, and we'll come back and we'll spray a little paint in there over our cuts to make sure it doesn't rust. And of course, we'll probably want to clean it up with a little grinder or something before we do that. But this one, for the most part, is done. We're just going to drill a hole through it. I'm going to put a piece of masking tape over top of the paint on the trunk top side to prevent spurring, just having a cleaner cut. This is the bolt that's going to go through from the other side. You got your bolt and washer. The instructions say to drill a 3/32 pilot hole. So we've got a 3/32 bit on here, and we're going to put the tape down and begin. Okay. Let's get some masking tape around it. I'm going to just do 2 layers like that. Should be good. And we're going to drill right underneath of where this mark is here. So to get started, I think I'll probably just take the screwdriver and make a little mark right there. It's pretty much marked right at the bottom, right? So with that mark, we'll use that as the spot. So I'll go ahead and take this off and hope we got it right, because we're about to do this. Put the bit on, ready to go. We're going to go straight down right here. Now we're in the, well, no going back now, right? Straight down, straight down. Yeah. So let me get my speed right. Straight down we go. All right, let's do it. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Okay, so I went ahead and started on the passenger side. I drilled both holes first, and I decided on this side to make like an H pattern or an I pattern if you're looking at it at this angle. So you can see I did the I pattern up on the top. I also did on the bottom, and then I decided to just bump this side down to have double the thickness to reinforce the mounting, and then just push the other side in. Maybe I'll shred it off. I'm not sure yet, but at least get this side pushed in to have double the thickness. We're going to do the same thing here. Push it in, and then push the other side down. Should have double the thickness. I mean, it's already, you can see where it goes in. It's already double thickness. So yeah, I'm just going to push it down instead of cutting it off, and we'll go from there. Those were the pilot holes, and if we take a look at the screw that goes on, that's not going to fit through. We're going to have to open these up a little bit more. So we're going to find the next size bit and get it just large enough to get this through. So let's see what we have. We used a 3/32. The next size up looks to be a 3/16. And that might also be just a hair small, but we're gonna give this a shot. So I'm gonna just take this, we're using a Ryobi drill, and we'll go ahead and remove this bit, put the new bit in 3/30 seconds, open it up, tighten it up, tighten it up, there we go, and down we go. I found out it was getting hung up if I had it on the slow speed, so we're going to do the fast speed, and we'll just get it going right down there. And there we go. I don't want to go down too far, so just clean that up, and hopefully that fits. So we tried it. Let's see if this fits down. Not quite, but we're gonna go ahead and drill out the other holes a little bit larger too while we're at it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught that, but as we were drilling that last hole, the bit here snapped. Maybe we weren't using the right bit for metal, potentially, but you can see it snapped in the end, and these are the other pieces of it that came off. So luckily I've got multiple sets of bits. Maybe we'll run one more with the 3/30 seconds, and this is a 3/30 seconds,
approximately 0.09375.
All right, Google. Sometimes the answers when I don't need you to. We'll run it one more time with the 3/16, and hopefully that does it. If not, then we'll step up to the 13/64. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we put in the 13/64, should be a hair bigger, and we're gonna do the same thing. Just run it through, bolt and washer. We gotta make sure it goes through this side, and this is gonna, I'm pretty confident that once we start screwing this in, that it'll go. We can see that it is tight, but it is making its way through. So that's good. So I'm gonna just do the same thing. I'm actually gonna use the same bolt and run it through on all of those holes on both sides, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I decided that while the 13/64 hole was perfect and I could actually thread it through, it was a bit tight, and I don't want to have a super tight hole going into the spoiler where it needs to be perfectly exact and don't have any wiggle room on this side. So I am going to drill this hole slightly bigger. This is a 1/4" bit that I'm using this time, and I'm going to cover these holes once more like before to drill through. 1/4 inch this way. So this should give us just enough play in the hole so we can make some very fine adjustments when we line it up with the spoiler sitting on top. You know, if you had a thread inside the spoiler and you set it down, that means your hole has to be absolutely 100% perfect if there's no wiggle room. So with this, we give the bolt slightly more wiggle room, and that should prevent stressing out the mounting points on the spoiler. You know, the spoiler is made of plastic, this is made of metal. The last thing I want is the threads in the spoiler or the spoiler itself to deform because it wasn't perfectly aligned. So this should do the trick for us. All right, so from here, we'll go ahead and just grab these 2 screws that we have and show that they now go through and they have a little bit of a wiggle room to them. Hopefully it's just enough that we need and not too much. Okay, we're gonna grab the spoiler and see if we can't get this thing mounted on. All right, the spoiler is officially on. Sorry, I did a poor job of documenting those last couple steps. But basically what we did was just put the bolt holes through the trunk and carefully, while the trunk was open at an angle, start lining up the bolts and inserting them into the bottom of the spoiler. But before we did that, we did throw in these, let's see if we can get a focus here, these pads that go on the trunk surface in between the base of the spoiler
just for a little bit of extra padding. So you can see those sitting on the rear and on the front on both sides. Fitment lined up pretty well. Let me go over to the other side. You'll have a better shot of those pads, and we just trimmed them afterwards. I could trim them a little bit better for sure. You can kind of see the bolt washer right there underneath the trunk, and then on this side a little bit of material there. You know, I'll clean it up a little bit later, but there's proof that it's on. As far as fitment goes, still about the same. Let me show you this side. About like I expected. And then let me go around to the driver's side. Same angle. Right. And then underneath of the car. Because you don't want to see any gaps down here. So, really pretty good fitment for an eBay part, in my opinion. I couldn't ask for more given the price point. So there it is. Once I get the battery charged and the car running, I'll get some outside shots, some moving shots even. And yeah. That reminds me, I don't think I did an update on these taillights. I'm going to have to update that too. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. Let me know how you feel about this lightweight spoiler on the E46. Catch everyone later. See ya!